There's a problem that's political for Trump. And also, of course, the fact that the NATO nations refused to join, which has created a big problem, which caused Trump to overreact and to suggest he wants to leave NATO, which would be a real catastrophe for global security. Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, had to fly to the U.S. today to try to fix this problem, which he'll probably do with more fawning over Trump. He's already called him daddy one time.
The Trump administration is considering a plan to punish some members of the NATO alliance that he believes were unhelpful to the U.S. and Israel during the Iran war, according to a new report by the Wall Street Journal. The proposal would involve moving U.S. troops out of those NATO member states and station them in countries more supportive of the U.S. military campaign. Back here in studio, Dan, this is a new report from the Wall Street Journal, but in line with the cracks and the tensions that we continue to see between the U.S. president and NATO. If there is some truth to this report, what would this mean in reality for this alliance?
It may not mean very much at all, because the U.S. is within its rights to move troops to whatever, between countries to whatever countries want to be hospitable. And it has no obligation to have troops in particular NATO countries. I don't see them moving troops out of Germany or out of Romania or frontline countries in the Ukraine war, for example. It's not unreasonable because NATO, those countries really were unhelpful during the war. Now, I would distinguish between that and NATO. NATO is not the sum total, the actions of all its members. NATO is NATO. And I think Trump misunderstands NATO's Article 5. Article 5 says an attack on one is an attack on all. It doesn't say if any one of us chooses to attack a third party, then we all have to pile on. For Trump to have expected that automatically was immature. And Trump in general has been disdaining NATO for a long, long time. He either misunderstands or misrepresents the NATO budget. NATO budget, which he says America pays all of, is only about $4 to $5 billion, of which America pays 1/6 of. America has the biggest military in the world, independent of NATO, and that's a little sleight of hand when they talk about how the U.S. pays more than other NATO members. It has a way bigger army because it wants to control from the Monroe Doctrine onward, it wants to control the Americas. NATO is a very good deal for America. It allows America to project power all over the European theater and beyond. It allows America to basically lead the free world, and it is the backbone of the defense of democracies that has kept the peace since World War II. So Trump's war on NATO was extremely, extremely misguided. Trump's displeasure with certain countries that tried to block their airspace to the U.S. during the war is highly understandable and independent of his foolish discussions about potentially pulling the U.S. out of NATO, which would be a catastrophe.